Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars figure review. For some of my upcoming reviews, we'll be taking a look at some figures from Star Wars The Black Series that have been available for quite some time, but that I've picked up in the months during my little break from YouTube. Now, Black Series is absolutely killing it at the moment, in my opinion, and so we're kicking things off with a really cool one. This is from Star Wars The Force Unleashed, and it is of course none other than Darth Vader's secret apprentice, Galen Marek, aka Starkiller. Now, of all the figures that Hasbro could have released in the Gaming Greats line, this one, I think it's safe to say, was at the top of many a list. It certainly doesn't disappoint either. First made available in the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Force Unleashed box set, alongside 2 Stormtroopers and a plethora of Force effects and additional accessories, Starkiller has thankfully found his way into the basic Black Series line. Now we'll take a look at what makes this figure so special in just a little bit, but before we do, as always, if you haven't already picked him up, be sure to head over to our friends at Star Action Figures. Now currently, unfortunately, Starkiller is out of stock, but keep an eye on the link below in the video description as he may pop up again in the near future. I've noticed a few sites have restocked this one over the last couple of months, so fingers crossed he pops up again. Now, like I said, we're going to dive into this review in just a bit, but before we do that, as always, let's take a look at the packaging that this one comes in. So the packaging, as you would expect, is pretty standard Black Series fare. Obviously, being a part of the Gaming Greats line, however, we do have the foil sticker for the Gaming Greats call out there on the window. We also have the colour band around the edge of the box that indicates this figure is from Star Wars The Force Unleashed, and we have the Legends logo down in the bottom corner to further back that up. On the side of the box, you've got this really cool artwork of Starkiller using Force lightning with the cloning laboratory in the background there, which looks really cool. This artwork takes me right back to 2008, and if you're one of those collectors, once again, that likes to display their boxes on a shelf and complete those murals, this one is going to look really cool. Now on the back, we have that image of Starkiller once again, accompanied by the Force Unleashed logo, and we also have a brief description of the character as well. So, like I said, pretty standard stuff. I've said it time and time again. Once you've seen one Black Series box, you've pretty much seen them all. But the artwork on this one really does stand out, and the figure itself does as well. So let's dive in and take a look. So here is Starkiller in all his glory, and like I said, this is one impressive figure. Starkiller has of course had his fair share of 3 3/4 inch releases over the years, so not only is it really nice to finally see him in the Black Series 6-inch line, but I'd argue that this is probably the best Starkiller figure that Hasbro have ever offered us. We've only seen this version of the character from the first Force Unleashed game released once as an action figure, and that was all the way back in 2008 as part of the elusive Evolutions 3-pack. As a product of the time, naturally the likeness on that figure isn't quite up to par by today's standards, but this Black Series release on the other hand looks like actor Sam Witwer dived right out of our TV screens and onto our action figure shelves. The head sculpt, in my opinion, is absolutely phenomenal. The photorealistic facial printing that's been used on this one is absolutely bang on, and like I said, the likeness to both actor Sam Witwer and the character of Starkiller is really good. Now, as part of that exclusive Force Unleashed box set, this figure was released alongside a number of alternate head sculpts which featured different expressions, and some of those, I'll admit, were a little bit questionable. The likenesses of some of the screaming heads and what have you weren't that great, but this one is absolutely spot on. It's right on the money, and it looks really good. Even the hair is really nicely painted, which I absolutely love. Now, the quality of the paint applications and the overall sculpt does continue throughout this figure. What I really like about it is the sheer amount of texture that's been applied to this one. Obviously you've got armour elements, so metal, cloth, bandage, wraps, all that sort of stuff going on with this guy, and it looks really good. The chest armour here is a separate overlay, and it's been really nicely sculpted with dints, dings and scratches, different elements of battle damage, and it's got this really nice metallic finish to it as well, which looks really cool. The sleeves are nicely sculpted as well with rips and tears, and you've even got blood painted on the arms, which is definitely a rarity with Hasbro Star Wars figures. It's not often that we see injury detail, so that's really cool to see. Definitely looks like he's been through the wars with Darth Vader. You've also got, like I said, different textures applied to this one, such as these bandages or wraps around the arms and on the sleeves. You've got a forearm gauntlet there, which is again really nicely sculpted and painted. The hands are wrapped as well, which look really, really good. The belt has really nice fake leather textures applied. You've got this gradient paint application running through the skirt, which again features tears and rips and looks phenomenal. Really, really good. The same can be said for the back. And then of course you've got those wraps again around the legs, which are really nicely weathered. There's a great detail of, or a great deal of depth and realism to this figure, which I absolutely love. Now, one of the things that really stood out to me about this figure when I first opened it out of the box was the fact that he does come with a lightsaber, as you can see, which is a really nice sculpt. The hilt is of course very unique to the character, and there is a peg on the hilt itself which allows you to plug it into Starkiller's belt. But as we take a look around the back of the figure, as you can see, he's got about 5 or 6 different holes for different lightsaber hilts. And the first thing I thought when I saw that was hopefully this figure gets reused down the line and we get a Black Series 6-inch version of Starkiller in his Sith Stalker armour that we of course see during some of Starkiller's visions, and of course in the alternate dark side ending of the first Force Unleashed game. That would be absolutely phenomenal. It'd obviously allow you to put these plugs or sockets to good use and put different lightsabers in there. He's got a bit of a General Grievous streak in him when he's wearing the Sith Stalker armour, in the sense that he goes around collecting lightsabers, so that'd be really, really cool to see. Hopefully we see many more figures from the Force Unleashed released in the Black Series as well. Now, in terms of articulation, Starkiller is, I wouldn't say groundbreaking, but he comes with all the usual posability and articulation that you'd expect from a Black Series 6-inch figure. We do of course have a ball joint at the head, and there's a, as always, ball joint in the base of the head and at the bottom of the neck, so again, really nice realistic movement there. We have hinges and ball joints at the shoulders, which allow you once again to get this figure in some really cool poses. I can't wait to get this one displayed on the shelf, going head to head with Darth Vader or a couple of Stormtrooper commanders. He's going to look really, really cool. We do of course have a ball joint at the torso, which on my sample is a little bit tight. It's a little bit difficult to turn it round, and I don't want to do that too much just in case I snap that, but again, that could just be my sample. We do have hinges at the hips as well, which thankfully aren't hindered by the skirt, and we also have hinges at the knees and ankles with a rocker joint there as well. Once again, being a modern Black Series figure, we do of course have pinless articulation technology, and the creases and folds in the clothing really hide those articulation points well. So again, a nice level of depth and realism to this figure. Now, what would a Sith Lord 229 review be without a minor gripe? My only issue with this figure is the fact that the grip on the hand seems to be a little bit too wide, but that's easily fixed with a clear elastic band or by dipping the hand in a little bit of hot water and reshaping it slightly. But as you can see, straight out of the box, placing the lightsaber in the hand, it's a little bit loose and a little bit wobbly, and he doesn't hold it particularly well. So that might need a little bit of modification when you pick this figure up for yourself. But in all honesty, that's my only issue with this figure. Everything else about it is absolutely perfect, and I am so happy that Hasbro decided to release this figure. Once again, hopefully we get more Force Unleashed characters released in the Black Series line. General Ram Kota, for example, would be absolutely phenomenal. And just based on how good that Duel's End Darth Vader was from Obi-Wan Kenobi, I think a battle damaged Darth Vader would be an absolutely killer release in the Black Series as well. But like I said, as a standalone figure, this one absolutely ticks all the boxes. I can't recommend it enough, and I couldn't tell you how happy I am to have this one in the collection. So that concludes this review on Starkiller from the Star Wars The Black Series line. Once again, I'm thrilled to see him make his way into the Black Series, and it's great to see newly sculpted figures added to the Gaming Greats assortment, given its previous notoriety for repacks and retools. Now, granted, this is technically a repack, but it's one that more than warrants a re-release, given that some collectors, such as yours truly, were happy to forego the extra pair of stormtroopers and additional heads, lightsaber blades, force effects and what have you from the Hasbro Pulse exclusive set in order to save themselves a little bit of money. But all round, this is a fantastic figure, a more than worthy addition, and hopefully a standard bearer for the Gaming Greats assortment going forward. I really hope you've enjoyed this review, guys. I'll be back with some more very soon, and be sure to stay tuned to my Instagram over the next few weeks, as I'll be sharing some upcoming product from Hasbro when I attend MCM Comic Con on May 25th. So there's plenty to look forward to on the channel and on my social media platforms. Please stay tuned. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, as always, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.